Oops, I I was late. It's because my dog moved, and I had to readjust the thing. Hey, what's up, Scott Walker here with Imagination Creation Films, and today it is Friday. That's right, Friday the 6th of October. And I know so many of you tune in to this very live stream just to find out the date. It's 2023. That's the year. How's everybody doing today? It is a fantastic, wonderful, fun-filled Friday, and I'm feeling great. Got more of the studio cleaned up, getting closer and closer to a finished product. This is not it. This is another interim, just because, you know, it feels good to. I need to move this over. I need to move that over just like that. Oh, good, I'm live, in case you didn't know. We do have the puppy cam. He is now back. He literally, like 10 minutes before the live stream, got up and laid down right behind me. And I'm like, dude, like, come on. I literally set up nice lighting for you. I set up some backlighting so we have a little bit of an edge on him. And he moved. So I coaxed it back over there with some love. And, you know, he accepted it. He accepted it. Carlos says, hello, yo. And he says, first. And King says, getting ready for Scott to share about some new acquisitions. Very interesting. Aries says, howdy, good sir. Hello, Ari. How are you? Clayton Burns, happy Friday, Scott. Awesome A-can setup going on. Well, thank you very much. This is interim. Just interim shot right now, because we've got so many different options soon. Working on the kitchen, got the room cleaned up so I could do some actual shooting. Really nice soft lighting. I'm gonna switch to this because I like this. It's an 8x full grid. I like how soft it is, but yet so moody. What was that? That was my watch. I was like, I saw a little flash in the monitor. I was like, what in the world? It is truly a wonderful, magnanimous, glorious day. So much we can chat about. So much we can talk about. So many questions we can answer today. I do have a delicious adult beverage today. We're enjoying the frozen kind. And of course, this horrible prop has been, it's a fire hazard, and it needs to be burned and destroyed. So we're going to make sure we take care of that today. Let's see. Have I shot on Apolog? I have. I shot ProRes, and it almost filled up my entire phone. It's a stinker. You need to have an external drive. You can run external SSDs. You could run external SD cards, plug it into the back. Just use an adapter. You can use CF Express, but apparently many different CF Expresses are pull too much power, and the iPhone is not giving it to you. So choose wisely. I have played with the SD, that works, and the SSD, that works. This here's the 512, and I think I've got like 140 gig left on it, which equals 9 minutes of Apple ProRes log. I have not downloaded the new Blackmagic app, but we'll see. I'm also trying to figure out what is the best way to live stream with it, because I do want to try it as a live stream camera. It'll be interesting. I want to put it in cinematic mode, adjust the virtual f-stop, and see what it can do, because maybe it can do. I don't know. It's Apple. You just never know. But I do like the phone a lot. The zoom is really cool. The dynamic range is really nice. I like I like being able to shoot log. It's nice. I like that Blackmagic came out with their little app. It's nice, and I am not centered, and I apologize. I'm going to fix my... There we go. Now I'm where I'm supposed to be in this set. There we go. I actually need a little light right here, don't I? Yeah. Well, I'll fix that. Maybe some other live stream. Have I talked about Module 8 and their detuners for EF lenses? I talked about it briefly when I was at Cine. They are supposed to send me 2 of them to test. And I haven't received them, but I know they're busy. One of them, it was the Super Baltar emulator. I really liked that one a lot. I thought that was a pretty good looking lens emulator. I mean, it doesn't make it a Super Baltar, but it gives it the character, which is, as we've talked about, like you run Sigma lenses, all of a sudden you're like, these are really sharp. I wish I had some character for it. So we throw filters on the front and such. But what if you could throw a little character in it? That was pretty nice. The, what are the 3? The K35, I think, was the one that I liked the least. I'm trying to remember what the other one was, which I found in the middle. So I requested the 2 that I liked the most, and we'll see. But I did play with it at Cine Gear for quite a while, and it was a lot of fun. It's not for everything, but it's when you want to add something that you don't have, and it does add enough to know that you're not shooting on just a Sigma lens now. You're shooting on something a little more characterized. Grip Tips says, hello there. Well, hello, Grip Tips. How are you? Are you feeling special today? How's your sourdough? My wife has got the sourdough going finally. We had a long conversation about how we needed to bring that back. And so she did. She created one, and it immediately exploded, and we had to supplant it into 2. So I think we're going to try 2 different sourdoughs. We'll go from there. Love me some sourdough. Did you find a case that you're happy with for my phone? Not yet. I'm still on this Mujo case, and I'm not super impressed with it. It definitely feels like poopy leather. We'll see. I'm gonna let it age a little bit. I spent a lot of money on it. I don't really want to send it back because it's a nice case. I just want a good leather case, and the one that someone did recommend to me, it was a top grain leather. It looked really good, but I'm gonna wait to see on this one. But I did like on this Mujo that it had this this metallic ring that protects your lenses. Which, surprisingly enough, I have dropped this phone more than I've dropped probably any phone, and I don't know why. Part of it is I bought a MagSafe charger that you just like stick it on just kind of elevates in the air beside my bed, and I'm so used to it laying flat on a flat charger that I reach over there and grab it, and when I do, I go boom, and it knocks it right off and it hits the floor. I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning panics. Not good for good restful sleep, but it's survived. It hasn't shattered the back. I say it hasn't. The only way to know is to actually look, right? And I haven't looked. Maybe I did shatter it. Nope, it's all good. So yeah, I mean it's done pretty well. It's held up to it. Held up to my abuse that I didn't expect to give it. But you know how that is. Maybe it's I'm getting older now and like I'm feeling a little more clumsier. Or maybe I'm more older and I'm entitled to be clumsy. Maybe I just like, you know what? I give a damn. Just went out and I'll just be like, I mean, knock that over. I don't need that anymore. This is dumb, and this is dumb, and I can do that. I guess I could do that. Probably not the best thing for cameras though, or lenses. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle to maintain lenses, or even get loaners if people are loaning lenses. Ordered the K35. The what is the third one? What is the third one? If someone could name it, because I feel like the K35 I did like some, but it was I don't remember what the other one was. If it is what I remember, then I definitely liked it better than it, but I don't remember what it is exactly. So someone tell me what it was. Have you ever tried cases like Moment's lens case for iPhone? Seems potentially gimmicky. Might finally be worth a look with the new iPhone. I haven't. I've seen a lot of people with them. I came really close to ordering the was it the anamorphic lenses, or the anamorphic adapters for them. I thought those were interesting. What I would love more than anything is for someone to sell a mainstream like EF adapter for it. With it's going to have an optical correction in there so that it can connect to that EF and go through a lens. But it might be fun to play with that. Grip says it's pretty good. I want to make some bread. Boy, it was a lot funnier when I read bowels. Some bread bowls next. Oh, you're going to do the like the San Francisco, what is it, Bowden Bakery? Is that right? Those are really good bread bowls. They really are. I want to make some sourdough bagels because I heard about those, and now I'm like, it's not a bad idea. That definitely sounds like something delicious, because I feel like sourdough and cream cheese would probably go really well together. In fact, I'm gonna just tell the wifey bagels and flavored, because it's me, and non-flavored cream cheese. There, now I'll have something to compare it to, because I want that. It was funnier when I read Bowles though. It's kind of amazing, but everyone knows what I'm doing in the kitchen due to Facebook. I feel like, David, it's not that everyone knows what you're doing in the kitchen because of Facebook. It's everyone knows what you're doing in the kitchen because you're posting on Facebook. Here's a pro tip for you, Dave. If you want to keep a secret, don't post it to social media. I'm just saying. So is Grip Tips going to become a dough, or that maybe need the no? That doesn't. There's no hand movement I can do to signify dough on the Grip Tips. In fact, Grip Tips would probably go really well with remember mine on that. Yep. So there's that. Got that going for us. Retrograde something? Retrograde. That doesn't ring a bell. I'm not sure why. Ali, what's up? Bonsoir. Sick shot. Well, thank you. I originally had it a little more orangey in the background, and then someone had made the comment a couple weeks back about the blue and teal, or orange and teal, blue and teal. Yeah, blue and teal. Hey, look, I've got a blue and teal. It looks great, isn't it? Orange and teal. It's so I was like, you know what? Let's do teal. We'll put teal back there. This is a temporary shot, just temporary, because I feel like it. Great Scott! I keep looking over here. I right before the live stream started, I was going to move my monitor just under there so I could at least be in line with it. But that monitor stand won't go any lower. And I'm looking for a rolling stand on Amazon, not expensive. And they seem to have two. One that's this tall and one that only goes to like 2 feet. And I just want something in the middle. It's just all I want. Yep, that's also on my list. Ooh, bagels. Bagels. Clayton says, an EF adapter with or without lens electronics would be awesome for iPhone. However, unlikely it may be. I think, I mean, it's been done. We know it's been done. I don't know about the electronics. That seems like that would be really hard to pull off. But we know there have been PL adapters made for it. But I'm not sure what they did, and I know there were one-offs. But who knows? Who knows? Have you seen that New York guy on TikTok who orders half a pound of cream cheese on his bagels? No, that's a little much. I will say that I'm the guy who puts a layer on the bagel so that you can't actually see the bagel. I don't like the like it's butter. You just put like a thin spread on it. I want to not see the bagel because I really like that cream and sour kind of counter to bagel crunch because it's toasted, and the sour of that. I really like that off. I also like the strawberry. Like the strawberry blueberry cream cheeses. I think those are really good. Let's see here. Ooh, package delivered from Mutiny. Ooh, bring the UPS when you come out. I got stuff from Mutiny. Yay! Stuff. Let's see. Half a pound of cream cheese is the only way. Yeah, I don't know how much I use. I don't know how much is in those little tubs. I don't use half of a tub, but I might use a quarter of the tub. That's fair. I wish this thing would quit. His tagline is, "Don't disrespect the schmear." That's funny. So tell me, Scott, is the 15 Pro Max life-changing coming from the 12? Life-changing. Yeah, I don't think I can say life-changing. Is it worth the upgrade for the amount that I paid? Yeah, absolutely, without question. Would it be worth paying full price? It depends. I will say, coming from the 12, that the cameras are pretty stellar. I really like that. The zoom is really nice. There's a lot to like in this phone. As far as everything else, I mean, it's literally just a phone at that point. The cameras are really the only like modification that seems to be anything of large change. Although I will say the little status window thing, the little that little creepy window that they wow, that little window that they put around the selfie cam, the way that it balloons out, I actually really like it. I thought, what a silly way to handle that problem, and it makes perfect sense. Now, that being said, if it didn't have the little selfie cam in there, they just had like the little island, it'd be better. They should have had it a long time ago. Ooh, what's your color grading process for your Komodo X footage? So it's a toughie. I mean, it's all in Resolve. The first thing I do, I have a particular setup in my color management of DaVinci Resolve. And then I have a specific settings for my red raw in the settings. And it's basically complementary of each other so that it provides a red-white gamut in the correct color space to the timeline. And then, sorry, I do I have a color grade, a power grade that I've saved for timelines. And so I take the timeline and I apply that to the timeline if it's all going to be Komodo, or actually really any red footage, because it's all IPP2. And then from there, I usually have about three or four nodes that I'm working with to kind of adjust. But basically, I want to be able to manipulate RAW. I want to be able for it to look Rec 709. I want to be able to apply some light color grading. That's about it. And it comes out looking super nice. I like, sometimes not so much because that's me, and I'm not God's gift to color grading, but I try. What are we at here? We're dropping some frames? No, we're good. Okay. I am. So I'm going to be doing some videos here soon, and I'm probably going to inject them because remember I said I've got a whole slew of I've got a whole slew of reviews to do. I've done some of them. I've shot a few, but it's the B-roll or the demonstration that I haven't completed yet. I've shot the footage, but I haven't, you know, like the Laowa Proteus Anamorphics. The review's all done. It's shot, but how it looks and all the stuff that I shot, I'm trying to come up with something creative with it that shows off the shots that I got without giving away all the shots that I got for other projects. Then there's a couple of other reviews that I've shot that, again, the same. I've got to send a lens back on Monday, sadly. It's probably one of my favorite lenses because it's just so doggone good. Here, I'll show it to you. I was I had a Cine all set up for a motion control to shoot on it because there's no other way to really show off this lens other than or show off the size of this lens unless you do, you know, a spaceship flyby with a probe lens. But let's see if we can. This thing is gargantuan, and this is the. So we can get a nice shot of this. This is a Canon 800 millimeter 5.6 lens, and it's converted over to PL, loaned by a wonderful friend who I have to send it back on Monday. And I got to tell you, this is the coolest freaking lens I think I've ever used on wildlife and such. It is just phenomenal. And it is one heck of a heavy, long lens. But it's literally one of a kind. So it's got to be well protected. And the owner is missing it. So I got to send it back. But I've got to shoot the review on it. I've got lots of footage, but I am going to go out and get some more footage of the little critters down the road. Because, doggone it, they're just so daggum cute. And I can really get in there with that one. So I forget where I was going. This is a heck of a tangent, wasn't it? Heck of a tangent. Where was I going with it? Oh, reviews. Oh, yeah. Okay, so going all the way back, King, to your initial comment, and you're like, bro, it was like 15 minutes just to get an answer. I said I wanted to introduce some tutorial type videos in the mix of reviews. And there's two series that I want to do. One of them is how to shoot on red. Some of you are well versed in it. Some of you may be learning, and I want to do kind of a multi-part, maybe it's 4 parts, maybe, on how to expose for red properly, how to take advantage of exposing for red, how to cheat when you're exposing for red, how to push it in ways you want, how to use tools, how to use the audio. I mean, there's a bunch of things out there. There's some people that have done some, and nothing against them. I feel like I want to do that. I want a single series here for people. Also, some stuff in Resolve, and part of that is color grading. I would love to get one of my friends who is a professional the greatest, to pop in on some tips, but I don't know if he would, because color grading is one of my weakest abilities, but I'm getting better, and mostly it's all about the foundation. You get the foundation right, then you can color grade to your heart's content. Clayton says, PL iPhone adapters exist solely for the coveted shot on iPhone ads. Yeah, exactly. That's what I remember those. I'm not a fan of the always on display. At first I was like, what the heck? I didn't realize it was always on. I know I'd read it, but I never clicked to it. I kept like closing the button because like when I'd set down my old phone and it was on, I was like, oh crap, I forgot to hit the button. And I hit the side button, turn it off. And I kept doing it. I was like, oh, it's always on. And then I was like, well, let's see about this. I actually use it now. I do literally look. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, I got to turn it off. It's such a habit, but I don't think I dislike it. And you can turn it off completely. There's a lot of things you can change on it. It is distracting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Scott, do you use Resolve grading panels or stick to the software tools? I use grading panels. Well, anytime I'm doing something that, wow, what's the right word? Because I was about to say that I care about. It's the wrong word. But something that's more than a review, something that's like in the heart, something that I'm shooting, personal passion projects. Then I pull out the panel, and I've got the micro panel. It's the one without the screens. And God, I wish they would just make the panel slightly wider with the screens and all the buttons with 4 roller balls. That's all I want. If they would do that, that'd be spectacular. They're like, we do sell that. It's called $30,000. No, I want the one for $2,500 is what I want. I do like the two. You can grade really fast with the panels. In some ways, I had the element tangent. I had there were the modular ones. I had a whole set of those about 3-ish years ago, and in a lot of ways, those are better than the Black Magic ones. Mostly because I had a 3-ball color, and I had buttons, and I had knobs, and then there was the transport, which also had another control and ball, which I found to be very useful. Danny says, how does that 800 millimeter handle on the O'Connor head? Actually, way better than I thought. It was, you know, with the Miller head that I have, it was. I'm gonna turn on the vent. Ooh, wow. Guess I should have planned this ahead. How do I get back to this thing? Gotta bend and turn, and what the heck is, what is grabbing on my, there we go. Okay, I'm reaching, gonna use the remote control. There we go. Yep, had to use the remote control to turn it on. I mean, well, literally it was, I grabbed the remote control because it was just about 6 inches out of reach, so I used the remote control to flip the switch. So the Miller, which is a really nice head, I was having problems on, say, the 600, the Sigma 150 to 600 that I have, that it was a little too shaky, a little too wobbly. When I would go to grab the handle and kind of move it, I mean, you would feel in the image, you would see where I grab it, and I was trying to be gentle, but I'm a gentle giant, so you could see it in the image. Surprisingly, and also it would counterbalance, but it would only counterbalance to a point, and the counterbalance problem came in if I go too far. So it would be it would counterbalance like to this, but down here it would just continue down and say it just didn't have enough. That's embarrassing. We're gonna have to trim that up a little bit. That's wow. It must be my first time. And my second time. That'll work. So on the O'Connor, number one, it can absolutely handle any angle. No problem at all. The counterbalance is infinitely variable. And then the smoothness of it is just amazing. I mean, I would say I can't believe I waited this long to buy an O'Connor, but quite honestly, the truth is I waited this long because I couldn't afford it. So it's, I mean, there's reasons, but it's absolutely worth it. It's amazing. We had done a George from Edmondson, yeah, from Seed Creative. We did a shoot in Atlanta this past weekend, and it was George's project. And I brought the O'Connor, and the guy that was handling the main A cam, the really tight, which was 400 millimeters, instantly grabbed the O'Connor. It's like, I'm shooting on that one. And I don't blame him. Reducation. Well, I'm not going to compete with Reducation because you're going to get a whole lot more from that. But I am going to provide kind of step-by-step primers of what you need to do. I'd love to sell it. I don't know how to do it. I mean, like, I don't know how to bring myself to sell it. I don't know how to do it. It's just me. Scoducation. I don't think that has a ring to it there, King. What are you delivering your final products in, 4K or 1080? Most of my stuff is 4K, but there's been quite a few commercials that were 1080. Yeah, mostly 4K. I want the one with the $1,000 add mode button. Add no. Yes, add serial node. The bane of my existence. It's all I've asked for in this micro panel. Is like if I just had that button. And why? Well, I mean, do you know how much of a killing that Blackmagic could make if they would just sell us keycaps and then the ability to remap? So they have their speed editor. I love it. But there's like 10 buttons or 12 or 15 buttons. Really, dog? I'm just going to get up. Let's go back over here. Bye, buddy. There's like 12 or 15 buttons on that thing I don't use because I don't multicam edit. And if they could sell me, I mean, even if it was like $10 a keycap, you know what? I'd probably spend the money. Buy like a keyboard mapping for it. It costs you like, I don't know, it's $100. And you get 10 keys of your choosing and the ability to remap those 10 keys. I'd be all over that. All over it. But I hear you. You can find Scott's old panel set up on his greatest clip, The Dance of the Edit. Yes, that's true. It is on there. Here we see a young editor using Adobe Premiere. Let's see here. Frazzle Syntax. Cool name. Where are all the new Canon cinema cameras? A lot of people have been asking that. The last one, C70, was released over 2 years ago. Seems there will be no Canon announcements in 2023. What's going on? The market is already quite saturated. So let's go back in time. Let's go back in time where Grandpa Scott's going to tell you a story. A couple of puffs of Grandpa Scott's little magical prop burn, and now we can tell some stories. I mean, think about how Canon has been doing. Canon has not been Sony, and much to everyone's dismay, because Sony's going camera, and then they take a break, then they go camera. Canon has been a lot slower on their cameras, and sometimes purposeful, sometimes you have to wonder. What I suspect is in 2024, maybe even the end of 2023, we'll start to see Canon's next batch of release. And I suspect we're going to see a whole bunch. It is interesting how, like the R5, R5C, and the C70 are probably by far their most popular cinema cameras. The C500, the C300 Mark III, the C500 Mark II, and the C300 Mark III did okay, and then they rapidly fell off. People just aren't using them. Not that they're bad. I mean, the C500 Mark III or Mark II I thought it looked pretty good, but it is lacking a few things. C70 looks good, feels horrible in my hands. Still do not like the way that that's set up, but it makes a nice image, but it's lacking a few things. So we know Canon's not going to do nothing, because Canon doesn't do nothing. Despite what we think, sometimes we're like, where are they? They do come around, and they do release, but they're really slow on the draw. Your O'Connor is a 150 millimeter bowl on what legs? It's a 100 millimeter bowl, and it's on some Sattler carbon fiber two lock legs, basically. And I also have a set of really nice heavy duty sticks over there with the flat mount, the whatchamacallit mount. And I was literally just chatting with a guy last night to buy the adapter for that to get it to that mount. Somebody's going to say it down there because I'm not going to think of it before then. Because I really like those solid tripods. But it's pretty spectacular. I do not dislike it in any way. So it turned out that the creator was shot entirely on the FX3. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, if you light things really well and capture it, and you get a good colorist, I think you can make almost anything look absolutely gorgeous. And that's to me, like in my color grading skills, I cannot take an image that I capture really well in red and make it look like trying to think of some good movie, not Marvel, because Marvels are kind of cartoony, but like some of those just look so incredible, and I don't have the connection yet to do that, but in time I shall. Phil has a aggravated face. I don't know what that's for though. Could be for the Canon. Probably for the Canon stuff. Maybe. Don't know. Phil's always so, secretive. I don't know anything but feel that something is brewing. Yeah, I hear you, Carlos. I honestly believe they would probably do a C70 Mark II or a C70X. That would really... But literally adding in the features that people wish the C70 had. If they could make it a little thinner or at least get rid of the blobule cam, I think they would probably sell some more. I mean, I don't dislike the C70. I just don't like holding it. What I honestly hope that they don't come out with a C500 Mark III or a C300 Mark IV. I think it's time they went C400 and C600 because leave the past, disconnect, say it's new. I keep hoping for a collaboration with Red. I don't know if or when or what. I just know that the world is friendly. It's a lot friendlier than everybody would lead you to believe. And at some point, everybody's going to be cool. Thank you, Art. Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell. I can't believe it's just like poof. I would say that's old age, but that's literally been happening to me since I was like 20. It's like I get 100 things going in my brain, and I want to say the next 12 things, so I have them all lined up. And so when I go in there and try to remember a name, it's like, poof, God, poof. Just like that. Carlos and his crystal ball. Yeah, I know. That's why I said the X, C70X. I did find it funny. Somebody asked if there was going to be, because I posted I was live streaming. They're like, is there going to be a V-RAPTOR X? No, not that I'm aware of. It's probably a lot too soon for a V-RAPTOR update. I mean, I think at some point we're going to see something, and I'm sure it's going to be very cool. And I'm guessing that they'll probably incorporate the audio from X in all future cameras. But I don't think we're going to see anything from Red for a while. I mean, You know Jared. He just kind of does what he wants to do. I mean, every time he posts a picture, it's like, ooh. Also, I did not get a chance to do it this weekend, but the face tracking on V-RAPTOR is pretty good. It's really cool. I dig it a lot. They did a Mark Toya, shot on location, then VFX to death in post. The release of the RF primes makes me think something is on the horizon. I agree. I was disappointed to find out that they literally just put new adapters on the Cine primes. It's like, really? C70 with amazing DR like Arri 35. I would say the C70 is probably pretty close to the Alexa 35. Just my gut there. To be fair, the C70 has gotten great mileage, especially with the firmware. I agree. I don't dislike the look of the C70. I dislike holding the C70. It's done quite well. The Cine D DR test on the R3 shattered a lot of people's hearts. Well, Cine D is not exactly perfect with it. No, really? I don't even have that turned on and it was listening. Cine D is not exactly perfect with its DR testing. We'll just say that. If you look at Blackmagic's acquisition history, Rank, Citadel, Fairlight, etc., a collaboration between Blackmagic and Red is far more likely than most pairings. I would say probably not. I mean, it's possible, and I mean, define collaboration too, because I mean, Blackmagic could license compressed RAW. However, why would they now? They're so heavily invested in Blackmagic RAW that they really want to sell that out, which is odd, but I don't think so. I think collaboration is probably a wrong word because camera companies are not doing collaborations. They're doing licensing. They're licensing the tool sets or the patents that or the IP that is better. And so Blackmagic's not going to license compressed RAW, at least not anytime soon. I don't know. I don't see that one. But that's just me. Whew, there's all the. I did click on that, did I not? Why is it not? Okay. I'm not a fan of Cine D's DR test. I tend to agree. They can't help but be biased. I don't know if it's bias or just not understanding how to do it properly. I do want to get a Xyla chart, but I cannot afford a Xyla chart. But I am going to be upping my lens testing game for all of you so that you get more than some images and a talking head. You're going to get some more stuff, but not in replacement of, because I really dislike stale lens tests. It's like, here's a chart, enjoy a chart. This is a chart. But there'll be some technical chart stuff in there with other things. Gregory says, happy Friday. Hello, everyone. Nice set, Mr. Balkan. Well, thank you. There used to be a dog shot, but oh wait, he's coming back in. Let's see what he does. He's walking behind me. We're gonna go. We're gonna put it. Oh, he stopped. He's behind me. Hey, buddy, what's up? Hi, how are you? Nope, He's going to sit right here, which means he's going to lay down right here. How you doing, bud? What's up? What's up, buddy? You see how big my dog is. This table is not table height. This is stand up desk height. Good boy, Pop. I thought we were going to get a walk in for the dog, but he's what's up? What can I do for you? Oh yeah, that's good, huh? Yeah, Gregory, it's just an interim set, just interim. No way, Black Magic in red because it'd be raw. Yeah, I agree with that. What did I miss? We solved world peace. We solved world hunger by growing the largest tomato ever. So everyone gets pasta sauce, but no pasta. We're working on that one. Let's see here. Also, quality control with Blackmagic, fix it and resolve. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Blackmagic's not bad cameras. I'm not a big fan, but they are a great entry point for a lot of people. And they will help people tell stories, and that's cool. Ollie personally doesn't hate the C70 body. It's very compact, with like the DSMC-1 with its side handle. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the C70 body. Let's just say I strongly dislike it. Yeah, that's the good word. Carlos says, I wish the grip on the C70 wasn't fixed. Yep. Are you still going with Sigma Cities? No. No, I'm not. There's a lot of other lenses right now that are really kind of tickling me in ways that are tickling the creativeness. There's a couple of sets of small city primes that have my attention, and I'm also really happy with the IRIX lenses as city lenses. There's quite a few out there, and I feel like the Sigmas are fantastically sharp, but we're in a different place today where lenses are way more affordable than they were before. And so I don't have to buy Sigmas to get what I'm craving. This needs a trim here. So I mean, I still like the Sigmas. They're amazingly sharp, but I don't feel like I'm going to have to settle for one set of lenses now. I feel like there's several out there that are going to be really good, and I can acquire them multiples in the same price area as a set of Sigmas. Frazzle Syntax. I swear I know that name from somewhere, but I don't know where. Blackmagic Ursa, hopefully smaller in size, with a full-frame sensor, could be an instant classic in terms of quality, image, and affordability. Only cons could be slow-rolling shutter and no autofocus. And I'm waiting for what's not been released. And I think you'll mostly be happy at that point. Your wish is their command. What? Oh man, I thought I'd caught up. I thought I had more messages in the queue. Let's see. The 12 camera red shoot was a lot of fun. We had 3 motion control rigs. We had a bunch of statics. We had some roving cams. We had some tripod shots. We had a lot of different shots to cover this live event, which it came out really well. It was pretty nice. I know George had a blast having so many reds on set. We had all the way from Dragon X all the way to VistaVision V-RAPTOR. We had a couple of them. It was a nice selection. George had his 2 Geminis out there. I had 4 reds out there. It's pretty nice. I'm really close to Dragon X again, parting ways with it. But every time I do, like I was literally just talking to someone on my drive back from Atlanta, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a feature that doesn't exist in Komodo X that I wish it did, and that's frame averaging. I feel like that's really cool. You need to encourage Phil to share why the Phil, why the long face? I don't think Phil's going to share much. Phil is really good at not sharing much. Holly says, Scott, so sorry to bring this up, but do you know exactly what you did wrong in changing your Epic battery? I'm going to be changing mine soon. Yes, I do. I know exactly. So, there is, it's really tough, Holly. It can be done. A lot of people have done it. But for whatever reason, I didn't get it lined up. But the plate, when you pull it off, there's some connectors in there. And the connectors are opposite of kind of what you would expect them to be. So what you have is you have a connector. It's not obviously this big, but it has some slots in it. And then on the panel, you have some fins on the connector. And there's a bunch of them. It's like 15 different fins. And when you put them in, you have to line them up perfectly. And there's, if I remember, there's 2 sets. And so when you set it down, you have to line it up ever so perfectly. And then you can then put it down. And for whatever reason, I wasn't perfect. And so one of those fins that was supposed to be plugged into this got plugged into this. And it bent them, or it bent, I guess, 2. And then that was that. Flashbacks. I mean, I remember putting it on and looking at it going, oh God, taking it apart is so much easier than putting it back together. When you put it back together, I bet you they have like a guide that they can take this thing and go straight down on, and it keeps it lined up perfectly. Because it's a connector I've not seen. Not like that. It literally felt opposite to me of what it should have been. I don't know if I can see. There's probably pictures out there now. There used to not be allowed to be pictures. Red DSMC1 teardown. Inside a red camera. I just want an image. See if I can find. I mean, the battery itself is not in a precarious location. It's just behind the panel. And it wasn't hard disassembling, but Red Komodo from Kalari. Tear down. What is that? That's Red Komodo. Yeah, I wish I knew what those connectors were. As I understand it, they don't use those connectors anymore. So either they sucked and they realized they sucked, or they were expensive and they realized they can get something better and cheaper. But that was that. Phil already said too much. Lips sealed. Phil is a sea mammal. Let's break that down, everybody. Let's see. He's a sea mammal. So he could be a whale. He could be a dolphin. He could be a platypus. He could be a sea otter. I don't know what sea mammal means. We will be pondering this for years. What's the rest of that equation? The math is missing variables. Ah, yes. So lips equals sealed. Fill equals sea mammal. It's a cipher code. So we need to take the LI and the P and the S. That's probably our key. Then we use it to solve sealed, which gives us the key for fill, which is another key. And then we have sea mammal. That's a pretty good key. Pretty good code. Got it. Yeah, the tutorials make it look easy. Yeah, it's literally not hard to take apart. It's probably not hard to put back together, oddly enough. But for whatever reason, Scott ain't doing it. If Jared is on here, how many units do we need to pre-sell to get a red EF to RF E and D? I think I can help make that happen. I don't know if he's on here or not. I'm guessing he's not at the moment. It would take probably over 100, but red doesn't pre-sell unless it's already done. So I'm not sure, but I would like to see it. Phil is talking. Canon is working frustratingly slowly on some things that many would want, including myself, when it comes to cameras and lenses. They are fortunately in a position where rushing isn't needed. This is true because they actually are the number one in cameras. They actually outsell Sony in cameras, which many did not believe would happen. I've got a mutiny. I've got a mutiny. Let's see here. By the way, the living room in your new house looks prestige. Really, Wigglebutt? Is the living room in my new house? Yes. This is the living room in my new house. And here's the kitchen. You can see the kitchen cabinets. Let alone that they connect. But, you know, he wants to go out. I don't know why. Okay. If you were actually to move away from your Dragon X, what would you replace it with? Well, Carlos, the thing that I've said before is that honestly, Komodo X is so close to Dragon X that that's what I would. I mean, it's kind of taken the place of Dragon. It has all the same frame rates. it has an image that to me looks so close. So close. I mean, I think Ollie is just scared. I think if he were to try a Komodo X, he might join the club of, the Dragon is cool, but it might be time to move along. Really? I'm a weakling today? Or that's some good tape. There we go. Yeah, it's, I mean, when I do it, it's so that I can get a V-RAPTOR. So there's that. Phil says, I'd say I'm more keen at the moment for something missing lenses that should be priority. Probably, I would guess, some RFs that are missing, but are coming. Cameras, a lot coming in 2024, especially prior to Olympics. Hides in the ocean. That was a Phil drive-by. That was I mean, makes sense, actually. Because, we talk about NAB and such for releases of cameras, but the Olympics could definitely bring a whole lot of sales. And there usually is a whole lot of sneak peeks at stuff there. Ooh, check it out. The new Mutiny patch. That's pretty slick. Place that right there. Ooh, an assortment of Mutiny stickers. Ooh. Oh, and the original Mutiny patch. Check that out. Yep. Let's see what else. Ooh, so many accessories. Oh, these are the new the QDs. So these are their mounts. You can strap mounts and cable mounts. Or let's see, let's open these up. Let's see these live. You're literally getting to see a live unpackaging. I'll be doing a full review on these very soon. So don't you worry. Oh yeah, those are serious. These are their quick releases. And a sticker. There's a sticker in every package. It's kind of like Cracker Jack. Let's see what we got here. Gotta make sure I don't open something I'm not supposed to show yet. Ooh. I'm interested in trying this one out. This is the 12G True Isolator. And this is, of all the isolators out there, this is the one that I feel like should work. All the other isolators, everything I've ever been told was, we don't know if they actually work or not. There's not enough information out there. But the way this one is done with electronics, it should work. It should take away all the stress out of that. Now, how do I test that properly? Do I just unplug the SDI a bunch of times until it say, oh, didn't blow, and then I go, now let's try it without it? No, I don't. But with the electronics that are in there, I feel pretty good out. Ooh. Did you get my, yeah, you got my list. Okay. Some cables in the not Balkan blue colorway. Ooh. Ooh, look at this cable set. The True G in the not Balkan blue colorway. Ooh, let's open this up. Nice. So we're gonna make these rigs look good. Apparently the not Vulcan blue is actually a very popular color. So we've got, ooh, the Safe Tap. Actually, this is pretty good. I do like these. You put this on your D-tap, and it will turn green when it's safe to plug in, which is pretty cool. And there's a whole guide on colors of Safe Tap. Let's see, we got a D-tap to, I don't have any light in here because I'm shooting at 1.4, 1.5. Okay, got it. A nice angled, very cool. Ooh, a little shorty, look at that. And then, oh, yep, a screw, nice, nice. Ooh, interesting. It all going to the Safe Tap. This will be interesting. Yep, we got the two. So we go into here. So this will be out. Click. In. Click. So Safe Tap is now D-tap to monitor. Ding. And then we've got the monitor in, and then the monitor out. This is cool. We're going to see how this works. That is soon. You got a live unboxing here. Let's put this on the side so I don't put ash on it. These will be. I mean, it literally is electronics in there, which gives it the ability to literally disconnect the power so that it can bring it up properly without a surge. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh gosh. So many comments now. Okay, Brandon Talbot. I got to see him in Atlanta. He was working on set. He was cam hopping, which was a surprise because I didn't expect to see him when I saw Mr. Fagan. Saw Mr. Fagan, and all of a sudden here comes Talbot right in my face because he's about the same height as me. I think I've cracked Phil's Enigma code. Tell me, Ollie. Tell me. I would love to see 35mm RF-L lens. Yeah, that's definitely missing. Anyone who tries the Komodo X is instantly hooked. Yes, it is true, Carlos. George Edmondson really loves his Gemini. Literally loves his Gemini. And I said, okay, but check out Komodo X. Check out the skin tones. And he pulls that up and he goes, oh, that is special. Komodo X is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Grand Slam by, yeah, I agree. I don't know if they're going to sell as many as they do Komodo, but I think they're going to sell as many to make them just smile and be giddy all the time. I've owned Canon since it was imported by Bell and Howell. I have one of those cameras over there. Still, Canon's business has been gutted by cell phones. Yeah, it's the side hustle into that was pretty poor choice. There was a time a few years back where I started seeing a lot of Sony cameras showing up for live events. This year it seems like they're flipping back to Canon. I can see that. It is interesting reading those numbers and what has sold versus not. And I honestly didn't expect to see Canon on top. I expected Sony to kind of displace them. And they've taken some market share, but they have not displaced them in any way. It's got a long way to go. So Canon is definitely doing well. And I like the R7 that I bought, and I want a full frame, but I don't want an R5 and I don't want an R5C. I want whatever is next because, yeah. Call it subjectively, call it bias, call it being frugal, but I'll be shooting dragon until I can't. Replace that battery wrong. You'll be eating those words. There is an organic beauty that I haven't been able to find ever since. Ollie, I completely hear you. Have you tried X? You may not want to. I understand. X has like 99% of that beauty. All the things that I loved Dragon for, X has. It's substantial. It is truly pretty. It has that. The noise is I'll say not quite as organic as Dragon, but it's really close. Skin tones are very, very nice. And then the highlights. The highlights on Dragon X, no. The highlights on Komodo X. Wait, they're both X's. They are, the Komodo X is so good. It reminds me of the highlights in Dragon X, the skies, which is what I truly love about Dragon. It's just doing all that. And it says, good evening all. But it may be subjectivity. It may be a bias. And it may be you being frugal. But I have a feeling, Ollie, I just have a feeling, if you try X, you might come back here, maybe shaking, maybe a little uneasy, maybe hurtful that you got introduced, but I have a feeling you might have a new opinion. Not a negative opinion on Dragon. Dragon is always going to hold a place in my heart, but that there's something that's so close. That's my 2 cents. Dragon is beautiful. I agree. Dragon is beautiful. Ollie says, so beautiful. How beautiful is it? It's so beautiful that, whoa, my gosh. There's a whole bunch of comments. Okay, let me get... Carlos says, seriously, this just showed up in my feed. Topic murder suspect, or Tupac murder. I saw that. And it's like a 67-year-old man or something like that. It's like, what? What? There's some weird stuff going on here. Brandon says, hey, Scott, thanks for the help. I was able to grab a couple of filters today that should make my life easier. Play before you go. Play before you go, because it takes a little bit of a learning curve to understand what you're getting and doing. And then, yeah, you'll see. Ollie says it's like that one fragrance people always compliment you on. I agree. My armpit smell is delightful. The only time clients have actually mentioned the image quality is when I've shot on Dragon. I think that's probably a fair statement. But I've had a lot of people say, oh, that looks gorgeous. That looks gorgeous. But a lot of that could be set deck and lighting too. Yeah, it's, I hear you. My goals is to simplify to a single mount and a single media type. That is a good goal, Carlos. I'm kind of there with you. It's what I did when I decided I was not going to do Sony anymore. And not because I disliked Sony. I thought, I mean, I owned 4 of their cameras. They did really well. But I want to simplify to a specific lens type, a mount type. So I'm going to have two, be PL and RF. And then also the media type is a nice follow there. Komodo X made my life so much easier on that shoot. That I believe. Sorry, I'm yawning. That's what happens when I talk. Same here. I will likely get the X soon. And with the R5C, it's smooth. It's a smooth workflow. I'm telling you, Ollie, find an X. Just find an X. I know a guy who just bought an X in your part of the woods, although your woods are fairly large, but not quite as large as across the pond. Our woods are quite large, but there's quite a few X's over there in your area. I'm telling you, man, it will change your life. I did not realize how much I would not miss the dragon. That's probably the fairest way to say it. I always felt like dragon was always going to have a spot in my life because of the things that it could do, and X does them. Minus a couple things, which is the 1 second shutter. It can't do that. And it can't do frame averaging. Brandon says, it depends on the live events. For sports, at least the sports I shoot, it's 99% Sony. Well, sports to me, I don't think, unless it's Friday Night Lights, I don't think people are trying to get a super cinematic feel. Maybe some like boxing or where you're close up and you can have that cinematic-y feel. I say that because sports is not something you would normally see cinematic in. Sony being very sharp, very clear, very punchy with its colors and its contrast, I think it is well suited for sports. I think Nikon kind of fits in there too. It's nice. Canon stills looks very nice for sports. Carlos says, hey, Brandon, how are you? Carlos says, I like being able to push Komodo X to 1600 to 3200 and use filters to get beautiful details into the highlights. Yes. Exposing by shifting your middle gray is a cool thing on reds, and it works. It works so well. When you don't shoot on Dragon, what do you shoot on? Ooh, it's a good question, Ollie. I know he shoots a lot on the R5C. What about all your EF glass? So my EF glass will, of course, obviously adapt to RF very easily. I was briefly considering unloading all my EF glass and getting RF glass. Couple of things have stopped me. Number one, the price. The price on EF glass is dumb right now. It is cheap. Two, all of the RF glass that I would replace the EF glass with, minus some city stuff, is the RF with the soft, the fly-by-wire focus and such. And after shooting on that 100 to 500, I really, really dislike Canon's focusing on RFs. I want mechanical. I really want mechanical in there. It's it's something. I'm basically keeping all my EF glass, although. Yeah, I mean, there's very few pieces of EF in there that I'd want to get rid of. Ollie says R5C. Right, there we go. What's the story on the RF EF adapters on Red? I've seen reports of some adapters damaging the camera. Okay, so the only camera that damages the camera, and it's getting close, is the Canon RF to EF speed booster. And it is not designed for the Komodo X. because it's too deep. So when you put it in there, it goes right up against the sensor. That is the concern, and that's why I wouldn't do that. I don't know of some. Oh, I do know of some others, but I don't know if any of them are causing any damage. IRIX says, as soon as I sell my C70, I'm picking up a second Komodo X. That's strong words. That's strong words. That is, my dog always right behind me. I mean, Komodo X it's powerful. I seriously considered when I sold Dragon, do I buy another Komodo? Do I buy another X, or do I buy V-RAPTOR? And to me, buying another Komodo, I don't want to do, mostly because I'm going to be shooting mostly on X now, and then Komodo is going to be, it's going to be B-Cam to X. But I am also tempted to put it in a little more danger now, which is a little sad. And let's just say, if it gets destroyed, I will proudly display it on my wall forever. Blue is going to stick around all the way. That's blue. This is blue here. But I can use it now as a crash cam-ish. I'm not that guy that puts it all in danger. And I really want a V-RAPTOR. And, you know, it's rather interesting. After shooting with the Super 35 for so long, and review shortly, it is a solid camera. But now I'm wondering if the VistaVision isn't more in line with my future. It's definitely, and I've gone back and forth on it. I like the Super 35 a lot, and I guess it really depends on what I'm shooting. If I'm doing nature, that Super 35 is king. It is so good. But I just don't know. I feel like X is doing so much for me that a Super 35 is an easy choice for me. But you just don't know. You just don't know. Oops. Any experience with the red PL mount ND? Yes. Yes, King. It's on that V-RAPTOR. Review is coming very shortly on that. I like it. It's way easier than you would think it would be. I mean, I have the Breakthrough. The Breakthrough is great, and you've got the dial, and you can just dial it in. For whatever reason, the red with just push buttons feels so much easier, and I don't know why. It makes no sense to my brain, but I guess it's literally my brain that says, oh, it makes perfect sense. Let me see if I can disassemble Johnny 5 here. I don't have an easy way to disassemble it right now. But I have the, let me just take this out. Well, this is the clear one, but. So this is the red, hello, Scott. This is the red drop-in right here. This is the clear, and it is not, you know, it's literally a piece of glass in there. It's a filter. And then the other one has buttons right here. You just up and down, and you can control it with your monitor. It's really good, and it's really solid. It's really solid. When it goes in, It's a, yeah, you heard it click there. It's a solid. Where is the other? Probably still in my bag. I have not finished unpacking yet. I need to finish unpacking big time. Yeah, it's not in there. What's up, bud? What's up? Hi, how are you? Are you cold? Why are you cold? You shouldn't be cold. You're getting your winter coat on, dude. I can see it. Yeah. Ali says, EF glass is cheap, but mini lenses are not serviceable anymore, unfortunately. Oh, interesting. They won't service them, or they're not serviceable? I feel like if it's a choice just because, then there's probably other people that can service them. Scott, when you say you don't like the RF focusing, what do you mean? Like when you're manually focusing? Yes, when I'm manual focusing. Because I do a lot of manual focus. And I don't like, it's kind of variable. So you zoom in there, and then you go to zoom back, but then it's like, oh, you meant to go fine tune, so it goes manually slow. So you kind of go slow, and then you have to crank it, and then it finally gets there. And it's the way. Gosh, what was it? There was a camera that I had that was that way. Was it the Canon XH81 or the HVX 200 Panasonic? That had that variable kind of manual focus. So you can put it manual and you can crank it, but it wasn't direct. What I really want is if I went this far and I know that was twice as much as I should have moved, that I want to be able to go that and go right to the spot. But that's not how the RF works. It works, you go like that, and then when you go back half a bit, it goes, oh, you're going a little bit? Let me give you a whole area. So you have to crank it like this to get it. That's what I don't like. And it really bugged me. Patrick says, hi, look at the Sony Mavic F95. I had one in between half of a camcorder, 35 minutes. The F95, is that the first one? Because I had the very first Sony Mavic F95, the one that took floppy disk, you mean? So this one feels, wait, which one is this one? 3.5. Yeah, that one that's the original one. Yeah, I had that one. And then I had the second one. The second one had like a 1.2 megapixel camera in it. And it was awesome. I still have the, yeah, that's it. I definitely had that one. Yep. That menu. Hey, look, it's the same menu system as before, or as current. Looks like with 35mm with a black water pipe in front. I mean, it was literally built around a floppy disk. That was what they had to do. They said, we got to put a floppy drive in there, and we got to do it. What's funny is that it actually shot video. So bad at video. And it would take so long to take a picture. I shot and delivered 10 hours of live concert footage with the X. The client is over the moon with this image. I feel that one, I edit. I really do. I can absolutely see that. This division is more in line with your personality. Told you since day one. I know, but I'm really hard-headed, King. Really hard-headed. And it just depends. It's like, I don't want to own 4 cameras right now. I mean, because if I had that 800 all the time, which, like, literally now is my life goal, is to find an 800 for a reasonable price and buy that, or buy the 200 to 400. That's the wildlife lens that everybody likes, and then put the doubler on it. That would work too, but that would not be a 5.6, would it? I don't think so. I think that'd be 11. But I mean, if I had the 800, I could probably deal with the VistaVision and not feel bad about it. But I mean to tell you, I don't have the stills directly. I mean, that 800, insane on Super 35 V-RAPTOR, insane. Yeah, when I was out, I went to North Carolina after Atlanta. Was shooting a little bit of nature up there, and like there were birds that were like 30, 40 yards away, and they're like, boop, they fill the entire frame. It's amazing. Art says, didn't move on the IRIX lenses at Cine. Thanks for the input. Want to move out of the Komodo and bring in the X for Safe Express across the Raptor, Komodo R5, and Fuji GFX. World where our studio lives. That's a pretty reasonable thing. It would be so awesome if Komodo could have a retrofit and get Safe Express, but I don't think that's going to happen. Who knows? They might make a Komodo, like a Komodo 2, and maybe put a couple of things in there, still make it small and cheap. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I understand the IRIX. Yeah, IRIX has Cine Gear in Atlanta. They have a 20% off. And then also, what was it you said? OC has a 10 to 15% off on some of their products at Cine Gear. So if y'all are interested, I have the coupon codes, I think, for the yes, I have the coupon codes for the Cine Gear. You know what? Let's just do this. Are those in focus? That's funny. That's Art, you had it in a 3. Okay, everybody, take a freeze frame. Freeze frame. There's your codes. Those 10 to 15% off on the. And y'all can all thank Art. Thanks. Y'all can all thank Art for sharing that. Super 35 is great for product work. That's true, because you get right up in there. There's a lot of reasons Super 35 is good. There's a couple of reasons that VistaVision is good as well. Focus by wire. Ugh. Yeah, it's literally just like, ugh. That's my feeling on that. Is this too dark? Does this look too dark? Because on Dragon, using false color, this is actually a little hot. And it looks pretty decent here. It looks a little hot on my monitor, but on here, it looks dark. Oh, and that's that's right. That's the Black Magic contrast on there. Yep, that'll do it. Every time. Every time. King says, Scott, like you, I'm debating if I should go for a KX or go all the way to VistaVision Raptor. I'm set up for 8K workflow. It depends on what you want. I mean, it's like what Jared asked me the other day when we were live streaming, playing with the Super 35 versus Komodo X. Which one would I choose? For me, between those two, if I could only choose one, I would probably choose the Komodo X. Because that's the alcohol hiccup burp kind of thing all at once, but it just kind of just comes up and it says hi. Because the audio on Komodo X, the global shutter, those mean more to me than the 8K and the frame rates on Super 35 for everything that I do. Sorry. There we go. For the for nature, though, the Super 35 is a solid choice. Solid choice. Brian says, incorrect. What's incorrect? You have to put the follow focus on 10x ratio? Is it a setting that I don't know? So you can change that at least in R5 as memory serves me. Interesting. So it's repeatable. Interesting. That may be completely my fault for not knowing, because those were my first RF lenses of that caliber. I had the 28-70 and the 100-500. Bill says, greeting from Texas, but not greetings. He's just greeting you one time. Via the app. Interesting. Okay. Just saw your Raptor vid when it was released, and you said so convincingly that you were going to get it. It's true. There was no Super 35 at the time. And the Super 35 popped in, and it was cheaper, and it made me not switching from glass, the Super 35 glass that I have. It's really a conundrum. I mean, it really is. This is like first world problems to the max right now that I'm having to sit here and decide which one do I head for. Because they're both really good, and it just depends on what I'm going to use more. I mean, the thing with VistaVision that I like most is the low light. The low light in it is just superb. And that's what gets me there. Also, we are way overdue for an 8-hour live stream. Well, 'tis the season, buddy. 'Tis the season. Let me ramp up to it here. I am home, as far as I know, for the rest of the year. As far as I know so far. No jobs have popped up yet. So we might ramp up to that. We might just do that. Canon does make a budget RF. Yeah, I saw that. The problem with that is it's literally an F11, only an F11, and it's not L glass. And I hate to sound chintzy, but like L glass matters is really good. That 100-500 that I have was really good, minus the focusing issues that I had on it. It was just irritating, and maybe there is a fix for that with the app and changing it. But yeah, that 800. Did you see, Danny, the rumors of the new lenses? Let me pull those up. Jared Poland, FronosPhoto.com had the Canon RF zooms rumors. He had them on his channel the other night. And they looked like there was a lot of options there that could be happening. Not showing up. Let's see if I can find it here. Here's the patent. There we go. So there's a Lens Designs mentioned. A 200-800 f5.6-9, which would go along with the 100-500, kind of like that variable aperture. A 200-1000 f5.6-11, and a 200-800 f5.6-8. And then there's another patent that gives you a 150-600 5-6.3, a 200-800 5.6-9. That's already mentioned. A 300-1000 f6.3-9, a 300-800 f5.6-9, a 200-500 5.6-6.3, and a 200-400 f4, which I believe the 200-400 f4 is the same as that one EF glass that all the wildlifers use. That is actually a stunning lens. I definitely looked at it many times, but it's still expensive. High to low. It is the 200 to 400 f4 with the 1.4 teleconverter in it for $11,000. And Brandon Talbot says, four cameras, those are rookie numbers. You got to get them pump those numbers up. Matthew McConaughey. Art. CF Express on X is sweet. 2 terabyte and no data dumps on set. Dangerous. I can't do that. To me, I look at it as if I got a 2 terabyte card, I've got a 1 terabyte card. If I got a 512, I've got a 256, although probably less with the 512s. If I got a 1 terabyte, I got a 512. I just don't like having that much data sitting on there if it matters. If it's not hypercritical, then yeah. Having 4 hours on X on a 2 terabyte, yeah. It's pretty amazing. Did you call Komodo cheap? No, I said that they could make a cheap Komodo update. Loves your current depth of field. It would be perfectly integrated if the light was on you was kind of soft. I don't know how much softer I can get there, Patrick. It is, this is a 8x8 full grid. Giant. Right up against me. I mean, that's some serious wraparound. Now, it's probably be better if it was over here. Just a little bit more. Hi. We got the little triangle right here of joy. Yes. Some Rembrandt lighting. It's a little dark. That's hard right there. That is a hard light. That is a focused light on the back. But I was trying to play off the lights here. Let's see, y'all. Boop. Use the latest app? No, I don't want to. Learn that I don't have to. Why do I have to put in my code? Man, these things are so irritating. View the photo. Good call there, Brandon. Brandon showed me in the menu where you can change it. Can you change it on Komodo, though? No doubt, Raptor is joining my arsenal in 2024. I feel you. I might need you next month for a Texas project, bro. Call me. I like money. I have a little. I'd like more. That's where jobs come in. I love that line. Yeah, call me, dude. Totally up for it. Sony Burano versus Red V-RAPTOR. Your thought? Well, okay, that's a horrible comparison. It's a horrible comparison because that is 2 different ballparks. You might want to compare Venice to 8K to V-RAPTOR, in which case there's a couple of variable differences in there. But Burano is basically a Venice for people who don't want to buy Venice, but get a lot of what Venice has to offer. It has very limited frame rates at 8K. V-RAPTOR, no. It has more than anybody else, period. Without question. 120 frames a second. Burano, to me, I think is going to really find a niche in documentary, high-end documentary filmmaking. Let's put it that way. I think it'll be the pseudo run and gunners for big budget documentaries. kind of like, did y'all see the Encounters from Spielberg, where they do all these interviews, but they reenact everything, and it's really over the top reenactments, very, very, very stylized, and lots of art direction. I feel like that's where a Murano will come in. I don't feel like anybody's going to compare it to a V-RAPTOR. I feel like if they're going to compare it to V-RAPTOR, they're going to say, is V-RAPTOR good for run and gun, high-end doc style shooting? I would say probably not. Although with the face tracking autofocus, it's getting there. This face tracking to me on V-RAPTOR, I describe it as Sony's autofocus about 3 years ago. It's getting really good. It's getting really, really good. Yep. Okay, let's see here. At this point, yeah. So Patrick, what I'm guessing is that they're doing it for the budget price, because the 100 to 500 I was shooting was a what is it? It is a variable aperture, and it is kind of annoying. It is definitely annoying. 100 to 500. It is it's a 4.5 to 7.1. And that's because it's easy. You can put more magnification in with the same optics. Well, you have to obviously change a little bit of optics, but you can do it with much of the same kind of optics, as long as you're willing to put in higher f-stops. So you do the variable. Where it becomes expensive and larger is when you want to maintain constant aperture. That's why you always see these constant aperture zooms are huge, because of everything in there. Yep, saw that one. Or I believe that. Yeah, it's what I want, Brandon. How do I do it on Komodo? Guess I'll have to look at that. Yeah, you put it on Komodo X, and you tell me if you can adjust it, because I didn't see that yet. That Sony is a Cine Alta. A Cine Alta is a product category. It's their cinema line. I mean, a Cine Alta is all of their cinema line. So FX30, FX3, FX6, FX9, they're all their cinema line. The most I had on a 2 terabyte card was 750 gig. 450 is my average. I did fill up the 2 terabyte like 6 times on my shoot, but it wasn't my choice. It was literally out of necessity to be able to keep that in there and just keep shooting. I did like that RF 100 to 500 a lot. I thought it was a really good lens. It says it's an L glass, and at the price $2,599. Really? It retails for $28.99. B&H has it on sale for $25.99. But you can buy an open box for $26.99. I mean, I just don't get it. Let's see. Canon RF 100 to 500. Let's see what they're doing on Amazon. No, not the 100 to 5. There. No. Where is it? Wow, where is it? It was on here before. There's the 100 to 400, which is not the same. It's not L. Hello, computer. Let's choose Canon. Where is it? Do they not? They must not. They must be out of stock on it. I'm sorting just by Amazon. 800 would be the dream. Be such a good dream. Yeah, I don't see it. It must be out of stock. Probably because it was on sale. Let's see. Emmy, hello, long time. Wouldn't it be interesting if the Raptor could control an external follow focus motor to do face track on manual lenses? I'm not frozen. Just being careful. I would say that is possible. Not on Komodo, but I think it might be possible. That'd be a great update. You should tell Jared. Oh, I'm pretty sure that Jared's heard that before. There are ports on Komodo X and V-RAPTOR that I believe could be used to do such a thing. I don't know. That is my Scotty gut. It's empty. It's empty, and we're going to be wrapping up here soon. A 2-hour live stream is all you get today. Well, 2 hours and a couple of minutes because I never end them on time. So let's put our last questions out there. Just rapid fire, people. Let's get these questions going. You know how I love some last questions. And if the questions just extend too far, I just keep going. I don't follow my own rules. Face tracking has been promised for Kessler City Shooter for a long time. It has. And it is still on the roadmap. It is not it's not a no-no. It's a coming. Right now, they are working on something else that's been asked for a lot that I think are going to make a whole lot of people happy. And going to be kind of cool. Would possible need an external box or a red follow focus motor? I don't know that Red would want to get into the follow focus motor game, but I think it would require some type of external box, or maybe not. I don't know. Let me phrase it this way, and I'm literally speculating here. So there's nothing here that I'm tiptoeing around. There's USB on V-RAPTOR and Komodo X. There's USB on other follow focus devices. There, all you need is love, love, love. All you need is love. All you need is an interpreter. And if people want to come together and do that, maybe that could happen. My thoughts would be DJI has some follow focus motors, and DJI has a relationship. Maybe DJI could say, hey, can we do this? Speculation. Unknown. Possible. Brandon says, Scott, here's a question for you. The EXP ports on the small Red HD monitor, what the hell are those for? They're like USB-C ports. They're for future unknown purposes, Brandon. Next question. What are the top 3 cages to consider for Komodo X and Video Village? V-RAPTOR. So I will say the top 3 to, I'm not ranking these. So these are in no particular order because it really matters to what you want. The top 3 right now are Mid 49, Condor Blue, and Bright Tangerine. Tilta's cage looks pretty interesting. I have not put my hands on that. I have a Condor Blue here. There will be a review on it shortly. The Mid 49 is already on the channel. Mid 49 has a ton of features, just a ton of features. The Condor Blue, I would say, is more for the budget friendly. It has some features. The Bright Tangerine is what we're getting is pretty cool, but that's not for me to disclose. Yeah, I mean those are my 3 right now. Emmy says, good point. Love and face tracking. Yes. Love and face tracking for all. Wouldn't that be an awesomely nerdy closing? Hey, this is Scott Balcom, and love and face tracking for everyone. I need a strongly worded letter, but in emoji form. Nope, that didn't work. Let's see here. What can I choose? Search emojis. Here we go. How about that? Let's see. Brandon Talbot, put it on a digital scope, maybe. There. The new Bright Tangerine, like the special edition or whatever it's called, looks really nice. Yes, it looks interesting. There's a lot to love. There's a lot to love. Red also has some nice stuff on their cages as well. Those are more kind of put it together. Red builds very purposely built stuff, and I dig it. I like it. Like their top handle's nice. Their base mount is really nice. There's a lot to that. The GDU stuff, when I see a fully decked out Komodo X with it, I'll probably have better visuals on that. But I really like Mid 49 a lot. I think they've got a system that's like really well thought out for going small to large. It's quite flexible. The Condor Blue is, like I say, budget minded, but it's not cheap. It's not a cheap product. It's just more. It's more streamlined, and the full review will be out here actually pretty short on that one. The Bright Tangerine and the Red both probably have the most secure locking on the airy dovetails. Surprisingly, very similar to each other. I don't know if there's any collaboration or sharing going on there, but they look very similar to each other. Okay, it is now 6:05. Puppy is ready to chill. Yeah, so hang in there, kiddos. Going to be lots of content coming soon. I've got to figure out how to streamline and get stuff out rapidly so that the channel can get cruising again, because there's so much to do, and it honestly feels like overwhelming at times, and it's weird, but it's going to get done. We're doing it. We're making it happen. And yeah, remember to subscribe and like and use them Amazon links down below, or B&H links if you want. Become a channel member. I mean, all the cool kids are become channel members. And then Ollie's a cool kid because he's always been there for us. Always. He's there in the he's there in the mod side. Always been there. Never asked for anything. Just smiles and recipes. And he's a cool kid. He's a cool kid. He gets honorary membership across the board because he's cool like that. Everybody else, if y'all want to be a part of the Cool Kids Club, you know what to do. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions. Love and full frame for all. From Denmark. I like the love and face tracking. Love and face tracking for everyone. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. Wow, did I misspell that? I think the...